Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. When you have a collection of Balisongs, or a collection of anything really, sometimes it can be easy to get into a rut where you really only flip what is easily accessible to you. And a lot of the times that happens to be whatever is sitting on our desk, whatever's sitting on the Balisong display that we have in the corner of our room, things like that. And a lot of the things in our case can go neglected. As someone who has a ton of Balisongs, too many at some points, I am definitely guilty of this. So I wanted to do a video where I go back through some Balisongs that I've maybe been sleeping on for the past little bit and kind of talk about why I go back to them and why I still love them just as much as the day that I first made a video on them. Lately, I've been flipping a lot of things that are just sitting on my desk, easy to access, like I said, things like the Kite AL, the Cheese, the Orion S. Basically, most of the things that you've seen in videos lately. But sometimes I like to go through and pick up Balisongs specifically that I haven't picked up in a while. And one of those Balisongs is the aluminum Sasori. Now this is a Balisong that I've been iffy on for such a long time. And to be quite honest with you, if it weren't for this little engraving you see in this handle, Blade Show 2024, I probably would have sold it by now. If this wasn't my pickup for that year, the thing that I remember that year by, probably would have been out the door, especially with the fact that I just don't really get it out as much. But the reason that I continue to come back to it, and the reason that I am happy that I still have it, is not necessarily because it's my favorite flipper. I really don't think it is. It still has issues with the balance that I just don't enjoy personally. Not to say that it flips poorly, but it's just not as consistent as I've been craving in my flipping the past few months, I guess. But really where the aluminum Sasori shines is I believe it to be one of the best built aluminum trainers ever made. This exhibits a level of quality, machining prowess, feel in the hand that I've never really felt on any other aluminum trainer. It's hefty. It feels great. The texture feels perfectly machined. I mean, it's things that I've said about Machine-Wise over and over and over again that the aluminum Sasori really just kind of embodies wholeheartedly. And it's something that I really, really enjoy reminding myself of how good it actually feels. Now, this is a Balisong that I wish that they still made. And I understand that they had a lot of issues with their aluminum stuff, but it would be really nice to see them come back out with something as premium as this for all of the aluminum lovers out there. Just so that we have something that maybe can stand up to those titanium titans that I still do love that Machine-Wise are making and that are really getting better than ever. But man, there's just something different about aluminum that I enjoy. And having something like the Sasori to appreciate how good it really can be is pretty nice. Next up, I'm going to do the BB Barfly Barracuda. Now, a question that I get a ton is, Ethan, what is your top underrated Balisong? And the thing that I always say to that is, it's kind of difficult to have an underrated Balisong in the Balisong community, because if someone makes something that is really good, it's usually pretty easy to get it in front of people and make people aware of it. Like not very often does like a truly exceptional Balisong go under the radar and people aren't really aware of it. But if there was a Balisong that you forced me to give you an answer on, I would say lately I feel like the Barracuda V2 might be that pick. Not because I think it's like no one knows about it, it's this secret underground pick, but no one really talks about it much now that it's been out for a little bit. And it's a Balisong that I really do still love. It's probably still one of my top picks in the sub $200 price point, and I really do love how it flips. That being said, maybe a few months. How long has it been since I got this thing? 6 months? It hasn't been a year, has it? I hope not. But being that far on from its release, it is a Balisong that I find I am not enjoying the extra grip as much as I once did. It's a very grabby Balisong. Like if you're an aluminum slippery, like if you're an aluminum hater because it's too slippery, and you try one of these things and you still think aluminum is slippery, I don't know what else to tell you, man, because BB Barfly went all out with the grip on this thing, and they really did a great job of making it grippy. Unfortunately, I think it does kind of detract from my enjoyment of it for long-term flipping sessions, specifically when it comes to, yeah, I mean, long-term flipping sessions can get a little bit grating on this thing. But I still do love it. It still flips excellently. And it's a Balisong that I really do wish got talked about a little more, because you can usually get a great deal on this thing. Another one that I don't think I appreciate quite enough is this bad boy, the Sirius V2. Controversial opinion incoming. Probably my favorite version of the Sirius, period. I do have the Sirius V4 here, which, while not being the most up-to-date version, it's a great Balisong, don't get me wrong. Great price, good construction, all of that. I just don't enjoy flipping this thing terribly much. If I'm looking for a live blade, I usually pick something else that we'll get into later in this video. If I want to actually flip something, I usually go with this Sirius V2. My old modded one that I got from Telestro himself, Sir Tyler. His name is not Tyler, his name is Ty. I've seen people call him Tyler. Nope, Ty is not short for anything. Anyway, white knighting for my best friend aside, this thing is awesome. It flips amazingly, and it just represents a time where the Kraken really was dominant in terms of like live blade aluminum Balisongs. And then LDY came out of nowhere, releasing an update to their really unseen Sirius V1 in the Sirius V2, and it really at the time took the community by storm, because here was this company releasing this Kraken comparable Balisong at a similar price point, and it came with this awesome case, and it came with an extra live blade, as well as a trainer, and it came with all this extra hardware. That's where I was going. And it just came with a bunch of stuff. It was pretty good. It was pretty easily available, and it flipped great. Now, it wasn't a Kraken killer, but it provided a different experience to those people who were looking for something like a Kraken, which maybe didn't have as much handle bias to it. And it really does just rock. I love the Sirius V2. I love how this thing flips. I don't love that, but I also don't love the screw-ins end pins. Probably my biggest complaint with this thing is the screw-ins end pins, because it's a channel construction, and yet if those things get loose, the tolerances go to shit, which is pretty annoying, especially considering one of mine isn't tuned very well. If I tighten it down too much, it binds, but then if I tighten it normally, it loosens really fast. It's just kind of annoying, but I really will take the Sirius V2 over most of the modern camaroEE out there, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. Next up is the Balisong that inspired this whole video, and it's unfortunately one that my American brethren cannot buy right now because FlipForge has had to pause shipping to the US due to global circumstances, which really does suck. Hopefully that will resolve itself in time. But the palette really is a Balisong that I come back to, and it just shocks me every time with how good it is. It reminds me with a slap to the face why this thing still sits at the top of my plastic Balisong tier list that exists in my head. Trust me. Yeah. I do go back and forth with the Cycloid, but not because I think the Cycloid flips better, just because I think the Cycloid is just very fun, really well engineered, and I appreciate that. The palette really is my favorite flipping plastic Balisong. I think that FlipForge nailed this middle ground of making it weighty and making it weighty like a metal Balisong, making it kind of carry momentum similar to a metal Balisong would, but still maintaining some of the things that keep plastic unique. It's dense without being heavy. It's extremely customizable. It's a little bit fragile if you drop it on concrete. It's got all of the hallmarks of a plastic Balisong, but it really does just carry momentum and have this dense, weighty feel like a plastic Balisong would. And I really just love it for that. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal flipper, and one that I would highly recommend when he's able to ship to the US again. Last, but certainly not least, is the Slift T. The Slift T is one of those Balisongs that I don't flip much anymore, admittedly, because of my kind of transition away from live blades. But it is a Balisong that I love to death, and I will never, probably ever sell. This is my forever Balisong. The concept of a folding knife that's your forever knife, you know, something that you can use for the rest of your life and it will work and you don't have to really worry about it. That's the Slift T for me. This thing is tanky. It is sharp both visually and physically. It holds up to any task that I need it for, whether it's hacking away at a branch, cutting a box, whatever. I know, very hardcore outdoorsy stuff we're doing here on the Blade Bias YouTube channel. But this really is my EDC. If I need a live blade Balisong for like a real task that's not just I need to open a letter, I'm reaching for the Slift T. I flip it over concrete, I flip it anywhere, it goes in the dirt, it goes in the water, whatever the case may be, it is held up great, and I am fully confident that it will continue to hold up years, if not decades, into the future when I am but an arthritis-ridden old man going, wow, back in my day, I used to be able to do the double scissor on one of these things. And then I cut myself horribly and traumatized my grandchildren. But Slift T, it's my forever Balisong. In terms of like, obviously I have a few other forever Balisongs like my Seraph and my Damascus Kraken. But like this one, if I didn't have any of those, this one kind of feels like my working man Balisong. And for that reason, it's the one that usually goes in the pocket if I need something for the day. But those are the Balisongs that I feel that I have been sleeping on the most. Maybe I'll continue to do this with a few other Balisongs in my case. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. And go check out your case. Go check out some Balisongs that maybe you've been sleeping on for the last little bit. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.